Hello, this is Explore My England with me, Tinks Davis. Now today we're tracing the River Test all the way from Ashe in North Hampshire right the way down to Southampton Water on the Solent. Now it's a famous river because people come from all over the world to fly fish the brown and rainbow trout here on this wonderful chalk stream. The River Test is located in southern England, and for the first leg of our journey we go from Ashe to the small town of Whitchurch. So this is commonly known as the source of the River Test. It rises here to here on Southampton Water. So this is Ashe in Hampshire near Overton, and this is the beautiful Holy Trinity Church. And the River Test is commonly acknowledged to rise here. The story of the River Test begins from the chalk spring aquifers in the fields surrounding the village. Ashe is located between the village of Overton and the town of Basingstoke. As it embarks on its journey, it heads west towards Overton. It is thought 80% of the world's chalk streams are located in England, with a great many of them in Hampshire. So we've moved about 5 miles from Ashe now, and just to the west of Overton, and you can see already the Test has developed into quite a stream now. The river passes close by the 200-year-old Watership Down Inn on the edge of the Northwest Downs. The rabbit, no doubt a reference to the famous Watership Down book and film by Richard Adams. It's well worth a visit for a leisurely drink. Nestled in the upper reaches of the Test Valley is the market town of Whitchurch. The town's roots can be traced back to Roman times. The picturesque Whitchurch Silk Mill is an historical gem, popular with visitors and locals alike. The mill has a riverside cafe to enjoy a cup of tea and provides an immersive experience for visitors, offering guided tours to take them through the various stages of silk production. Whitchurch Silk Mill was part of a thriving silk industry that played a vital role in the economic landscape of the region during the Industrial Revolution. The mill stands proudly on the banks of the River Test, utilising the water's power to drive its machinery. On we go then on the next leg of our journey from Whitchurch to Wherwell village near Andover. So as we're heading on now then beyond Whitchurch, we're just past Tufton and heading towards Hurstbourne Priors, and you can see that the river is really starting to widen out now, and there's plenty of ducks, plenty of wildlife, and brown trout we've seen in the river as well. The Bourne rivulet, seen here at St Mary Bourne, joins the Test near Hurstbourne Priors. This little rivulet rises at the village of Upton, where it's known as the River Swift. And eventually the tributary runs under this impressive brick viaduct constructed in the mid-19th century, which carries the main London to Exeter railway line.
The meandering watercourse continues through the undulating Hampshire countryside, creating a haven for wildlife and provides a serene backdrop to the historic villages it passes. The upper reaches of the Test are characterised by crystal clear waters fed by numerous smaller streams, which contribute to its status as one of the finest chalk streams in the world. The river's significance extends beyond its natural beauty, as it has played a vital role in human history and industry. Next, the river passes the pretty village of Longparish. In the heart of the village is the beautiful St Nicholas Church. Christians have been meeting and worshipping here since the 13th century and continue to do so today. The River Deva is the next major tributary to meet the Test. The Deva's chalk aquifers rise at West Stratton near Micheldever and join the Test here in the village of Wherwell.
So after Longparish, the river winds its way through the countryside to the village of Wherwell, which is where we are now. And the name Wherwell, I think, may have been derived from bubbling springs. And certainly this is where the river splits into several tributaries. There's two or three. This is one of them behind me. Wherwell is also famous for the cockatrice that was supposed to have terrorized the village in the Middle Ages and used to live down at Wherwell Priory.
The story goes that the cockatrice was finally slain by a priory servant named Green. There is an area of Harewood Forest nearby called Green Acres, which was the land given to Green for killing the cockatrice. On then we go from the village of Wherwell, following the river down through to Stockbridge.
And this is the bridge from Wherwell to Chilbolton Common. Well, it's Chilbolton Common actually. It's a site of special scientific interest because it's got lots of wildlife, including heron, butterflies, lots of wildflowers, and it's a massive open space, so people like to come out here and just enjoy the countryside, and on a day like this, who can blame them?
As well as the wonderful wildlife to see illustrated on this board here, it's home to over 100 different species of plants and grasses. The River Test splits into several streams that run through the common, and there are opportunities for paddling in the beautifully clear, shallow waters. Access to the common can be found both in the Chilbolton and Wherwell villages. Let's head to the west of the common now and investigate another of the Test's major tributaries, the River Anton, which itself is made up of many smaller chalk streams from the landscape and surrounding villages. Here we join it at the Old Town Mill, now a popular pub in the market town of Andover. There were originally two mills on the site, one for grinding wheat, the other for grinding malt. Further downstream is Rooksbury Mill, which is now a local nature reserve. It's home to a wide variety of species, including water vole, kingfishers, and damselflies. The river passes through the Clatfords, where the Pill Hill Brook joins the Anton from East Chilbolton and Abbotsford, and it finally joins the Test here at Fullerton Mill near Chilbolton.
And this is one of the most popular pubs on the Test. It's called the Mayfly, and it's at Chilbolton.
It's superbly located right by the Test and is a wonderful place to have a drink and a meal outside in the summer, with certainly one of the best beer gardens in England. As well as your pint or your glass of wine, they do leisurely lunches and delicious dinners. There are several species of fish caught on the various private beats, including brown trout, the occasional rainbow trout, grayling, and the fearsome pike, especially in the winter. In the lower reaches of the Test, you can find some Atlantic salmon, and these are eel traps and the eel trap house at the Bunny in Longstock village. Longstock is also home to the famous Longstock Water Gardens, which has a rich and diverse collection of plants amongst the water ponds, and is well worth a visit. We've arrived then at the small town of Stockbridge, which dates back to the Saxon era. It has a particularly wide high street, a development likely because it was an important stopover for traders and travellers on the old London to West Country Drovers Road. Today, Stockbridge's charming high street is lined with Georgian and Victorian buildings, many of which are now home to boutique shops, galleries and traditional inns. Well, we've come to the end of the first part of our journey along the River Test. Join us in part 2 as we travel from here in Stockbridge to Southampton Water.